What's up, YouTube? This is Alan from Team Prestige, and I'm coming at you with a new series I came up last night. So, basically, the series is going to be called Yu-Gi-Oh! Top 10s, and it's basically, I'm going to be making lists of top 10s in Yu-Gi-Oh! So, basically, like the top 10 uh, draw cards, top 10 search cards, top 10 whatever. So, I thought, no, since no one else is doing this, I might as well do it. Alright, so today, we'll be talking about my opinion on the top 10 cards for hand control. So what is hand control? Hand control is basically when you have more cards in your hand than your opponent, and you're controlling your opponent's card amount in his hand. So you constantly like make them lose cards, and you just control their hand. So let's get started with the list. This is my list, and you can disagree with it all you want. I really don't give a shit. But yeah, so let's get started. Alright, so the first card on my list at number 10 is Deck Devastation Virus. So its effect is you contribute one Dark Monster with 2,000 or more attack, check your opponent's hand, all monsters your opponent controls, and all cards they draw until the end of your opponent's third turn after this card's activation, and destroy all monsters with 1,500 attack or less. Very, very, very powerful card. It's basically a watered down version of Crush Card Virus, and it's it can be pulled off. It's gonna be a very very annoying card if you do pull off. I mean, you're just constantly checking their hand and destroying shit, so it's just good. Attributing a dark monster with 2,000 or more attack is a little bit difficult, but it's not too bad. So yeah, so we're starting off this list with a really powerful card. So let's continue. At number 9, I have Spirit Reaper. Spirit Reaper. What more can I say about this card? Its effect is well, it's level 3. It's a level 3 zombie with a level 3 dark zombie with 300 attack and 200 defense. And its effect is this card cannot be destroyed by battle. Destroy this card when it's targeted by effect of a spell, trap, or monster effect monster. Bleh. If this card successfully attacks directly, your opponent randomly discards a card. Alright, so I don't even need to explain why Spirit Reaper is good. I mean, it can't be destroyed by battle, and it just gets in there. You keep poking your opponent for damage, and they constantly lose cards. And it can't be destroyed by battle. You have to use you have to target it to kill it, and it's just good. I mean, it's dark. You can use it for you can pitch it with Allure Darkness to draw 2 cards. It can be a Dark Arm tribute fodder. It can it's 300 attacks, so you can search it with Sangan. You can summon it to the field with the Mystic Tomato. It's just so many options you can do Spirit Reaper. It's a zombie you can play in its staple in zombie decks, and actually now it's at 2, so it's a very very good card to have this format. Alright, so number 8 is Mind Crush. Mind Crush, its effect is basically you declare one card name. If that card is in your opponent's hand, they must discard all copies of it in their hand to the graveyard. If it's not, you randomly discard a card. Alright, so Mind Crush. Why is Mind Crush good? A lot of noobs think that Mind Crush is a bad card. They're like, how are you gonna know what card is in your opponent's hand? I'm like, well, you look at this format, there's Pot of Duality, Shin Smoke Signal, um, Rhoda, Elemental Hero Stratos, and just, your opponent is gonna search so much that you're just gonna know what's gonna be in their hand. I mean, it's a basic rule in Yu-Gi-Oh! When they search a card to add it to their hand, they have to tell you what it is, unless the card says you don't have to. So you're gonna know what to Mind Crush. I mean, they Gold Sark, they wait 2 turns, they add their card, then you Mind Crush them. It's just so good. Mind Crush is number 8 on this list, so yeah, let's keep moving on. Number 7 is gonna be Trap Dustshoot. You're probably thinking, wow, Trap Dustshoot's only number 7? What can be better than Trap Dustshoot? Let's just continue on. Alright, so the effect of Trap Dustshoot is that you activate when your opponent has 4 or more cards in their hand, and you look at your opponent's hand and you select one monster card and return it to the owner's deck. Alright, so basically, first turn Dustshoot is just probably the most amazing thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! You set Dustshoot your first turn, then your opponent's turn he draws Dustshoot, and they lose a monster card. It's just so good. I mean, and plus you get to look at their whole hand. You have to see their whole hand, so you're gonna know what plays they're gonna set up and stuff. So, I mean, Trap Dustshoot is so good, and not only that, if you combo Trap Dustshoot with Mind Crush, it's even better. The only problem I have with Trap Dustshoot is it's generally only good early in the game, because late in the game your opponent's probably not gonna have a lot of cards in their hand, and you have to select the monster card. So it's still an amazing card, and there's a reason why it's at 1. Same reason for Mind Crush. There's a reason why it's at 1. All right, so that's Trap Dustshoot. Number 6 is Crush Card Virus. You're probably thinking, wow, the really powerful Crush Card Virus is only number 6 on your list. You're crazy. Alright, so let's work with Crush Card Virus. You tribute one Dark Monster with 1,000 attack or less, and you check all monsters your opponent controls, your opponent's hand, and all cards they draw until the end of your opponent's third turn after this card's activation. Destroy all monsters with 1,500 or more attack. So basically, it's a better version of Deck Devastation Virus. It's an amazingly good card. You check their hand, you destroy their monsters, and it's just really good. And for 3 turns, you constantly look at it for 3 turns. So it's just very, very powerful card, and not much more to say about it. It's banned for a reason. All right, so number 5, Royal Tribute. We all know what this does. We're in a format where Gravekeepers are dominating right now, so Royal Tribute is just such a good card. So its effect is basically activate only when you control Necro Valley. Both players discard all monsters in their hands to the graveyard. It's too good. This card is amazingly good. I mean, first turn Royal Tribute, and your opponent loses all monsters in their hand. This is probably the hardest card to come back from after you get hit by Royal. You get hit by Royal Tribute. It's probably one of the hardest things to come back with. Gravekeepers are just... This is the trump card of Gravekeepers. Without this, I don't think Gravekeepers are going to be as good. I mean, this is just their trump card. It's just so good, and it's just an amazingly good card. But it's only number 5 on my list. The cards I have after this are even better. You're probably thinking, how? Well, let's see. Oh yeah, this card should be banned. It definitely should be banned. Excuse me. Alright, number 4 is Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy of the End. That's right, Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy of the End. This card has been banned for like 5, 6, 7 years. It was too good back then. It's too good even now. Alright, so its effect is, so basically it's a level 8, right? Alright, level 8 Dark Dragon. Alright, so its effect with 3,000 attack and 2,500 defense, and its effect is this card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card can only be special summoned by removing from play 1 light and 1 dark monster in your graveyard. You can pay 1,000 life points to send all cards in both players' hands and on the field to the graveyard. Inflict 300 points of damage for each of your opponent for each card that is sent to the graveyard by this effect. So it's Judgment Dragon. It blows up everything on the field and every hand, and they take 300 damage for each card. And it's extremely easy to get out. All you have to do is remove from play 1 light and 1 dark. That is just absolutely amazing. This card is just beyond broken, and it's just amazing. There's a reason why this card's been banned for so long. I mean, imagine your opponent sets up his field, sets his back row, spams monsters, and sets back row and thinks he has protection for game, right? Summon this motherfucker, bomb their field, bomb their hand. They lose every single card they have, and they take damage. It's just so good. It's just so good. But it's only number 4. Alright, next on my list is at number 3, Forceful Sentry. This card is just so broken. I mean, alright, so it's a spell, and its effect is look at your opponent's hand. Select 1 card among them and return it to his or her deck. The deck is then shuffled. This is Trap Dustshoot without all the costs. It's a spell. You don't have to pay life points or anything. There's no restrictions. Your opponent doesn't need to have 4 cards in hand. It doesn't even need to be a monster. All you do is select 1 card in their hand and return it to the deck. They take an automatic -1. Automatic -1 with no cost to you. So it's just absolutely amazing. Banned. This card's also banned, and it should stay banned. Alright, so that's number 3, Forceful Sentry. Number 2, Confiscation. This card's also banned. Excuse me. Alright, so its effect is you pay 1,000 life points, you look at your opponent's hand, and you select 1 card and discard that card. So basically, you peek at your opponent's hand, and you get rid of 1 of their cards, at a cost of only 1,000 life points. This card has very little restrictions, to no restrictions. It's only 1,000 life point cost, which is not a big deal. This card can be played in any deck, and the same could be said for Forceful Sentry, if it were to come back at 1 or 2 or whatever. This card and Forceful Sentry can be played in any deck. There's no restrictions like Royal Tribute where you have to control Necro Valley or anything, or like Crush Card Virus where you have to have dark monsters. There's just no restrictions. You just pay 1,000 life points and they lose the fucking card. And finally, what I think is the best card in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! For hand control is Delinquent Duo. So basically, this card is just the biggest troll face card in like the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, so its effect is You pay 1,000 life points, and your opponent randomly selects and discards one card from their hand. Then he selects and discards another card from his hand. So basically, you pay 1,000 life points, and your opponent loses 2 cards in his hand. That's simple. No restrictions. Very little cost. 1,000 life points is not a lot, and your opponent just gets fucked up by this card. They lose 2 cards in their hand, and you just basically win. I mean, I remember back in the day when I used to play in like 04, 05, 06, and when they hit you with Duo, you rage quit. This is one of the hardest cards to come back from next to Royal Tribute, and there's not much more to explain. It's Delinquent Duo. So yeah. So this is Alan Tran from Team Prestige, and I'll see you guys later.